It is sick. It is twisted. It is happening, says Newsmax's Bianca de la Garza. By John Grimaldi. Forbes describes Emmy-nominated Bianca de la Garza as a highly respected producer, host and journalist with more than 20 years of television experience. The Newsmax TV anchor was a recent guest on the Association of Mature American Citizens Better for America podcast hosted by Rebecca Weber, AMAC's CEO. As Bianca put it, "I don't think right now we are in a place where Americans are being informed to the extent of truth, and that scares me. In fact," she said, "it should scare every American. A free and fair press is something that is the fabric of our nation. It's Americans' ability to make conscious and clear decisions when it comes to elections. Even smaller things have now taken so much more importance as we see how disinformation can seep into books your children are reading. It strikes at every level. We're sitting in a situation now where our former president is being tried for a criminal case and where the mainstream media has been very, very complicit. We are at an inflection point. I do believe there's hope. I do believe that people have woken up. But it is going to be an uphill battle, I think, as we have so many, a.k.a. journalists, and I do put air quotes around them, those who have been co-opted to be propaganda pushers for this administration. It is frightening, and it should be frightening because it leads us to a very powerless situation where they tell us the economy is thriving, at a time when Americans are wondering how they're going to put food on the table. They tell us that the border is safe and we see a porous open border. Ultimately, it is the leadership's fault, and with new leadership, we can change everything just like that. But right now, Bianca noted, our government seems to be seeking ways to censor conservative news outlets. For example, she said, the Biden administration has been helping to fund a media rating organization called NewsGuard, known for giving favorable ratings to all the left-leaning outlets. It is sick. It is twisted. And it is happening. I'm very blessed. I work at Newsmax. We share the truth. We say it's real news for real people. And it truly is. As a result, we've seen our ratings surge because there is a thirst for the truth. It is incumbent, I think, upon every American to understand that they have been told lies and need to search for the truth. And it does exist out there. There are outlets like my show that are bringing on some of the best and brightest legal minds to break down where we are in this case right now against Donald J. Trump. When it comes to people who are looking for the real threat to democracy, she said, just look for those who weaponized our legal system in order to bring indictments against a former president. Then take a step back and you hear from legal experts on how thin these indictments are and how twisted they are and how manipulated they are. There's no way you can look back and not say this was all a setup, the fix was in. So knowing that, I do really have hope and faith. Bianca said she is looking forward to the debates between Joe Biden and Donald Trump, because we will actually see who Americans truly think can run this nation and be in charge. And I think the debates are going to be a very interesting point of inflection for people. Now, I will say I think that the parameters around it are unfortunate. They want Biden to ask them to be seated. I mean, he can't find his way off the stage. He's fumbling. He needs cue cards. He needs a lot of direction. So I don't think this will be a great outing for him. You know, I think when New York's Governor Kathy Hochul was talking about the Bronx rally, where we saw so many Americans in an economic hardship looking at Donald Trump and the leadership he was talking about and the policies that he once had that were better for African Americans. That is an indisputable fact. And for Kathy Hochul to say Donald Trump will bring his clowns to Jake Tapper, who will be one of the debate moderators, and there's no pushback. There was no affront when she used that word to describe Americans. I think it was a sad inflection point because we are forgetting that Americans are hurting. I think it's actually backfiring. They want to trot out folks like De Niro and these ivory tower folks. And Jeffrey Katzenberg wants to be on Joe Biden's re-election campaign. These people do not live like the rest of us. They're not trying to earn a living. They're not trying to keep their kids safe. They're not trying to make sure that they have a 401k for their future so they can retire someday. It's a struggle for Americans. And Democrats are so disconnected. And the further we get from that, I think it only bolsters the conservative movement. Please consider joining the Association of Mature American Citizens. Please take a moment and subscribe to this channel.